So because I'm run down, I call the day off with Kyle. So I'm like, hey, I'm not feeling good. And because I did that, I decided to go to the doctors to get checked out because I'm like, if I'm going to lay low, might as well make sure I get like...
Got a doctor's note.
Yeah.
Give it to the boss.
And just to make sure that if it's something I need to be taking meds for or something like that to speed it up. So I go and he's like, checking me out, and he's like, what do you do for a living? And I was like, well, I there's this house that I'm working on right now. So he's talking about how he had this 100-year-old house. I'm telling him how I'm working on an 80-year-old house. And he's like, you have irritants that you basically
inhaled.
He said it's irritants / allergy. So your symptoms are all allergic, but you're not allergic to whatever was in there. You had these irritants that created an allergic reaction, essentially.
Oh, interesting.
So because it's so dusty and so old and all this stuff, he's like, you might as well be allergic to that stuff. And I was like, I really was hesitant. I was like, but how would we know? Because I have the same symptoms of an upper respiratory thing, the exact symptoms. Mm-hmm. How do we know it's not an upper respiratory? And even with the upper respiratory thing, he's like, if it's viral, like we can give you steroids, but they're not really going to do anything. We haven't found examples of it actually proven.
Which is kind of what happened last time. It didn't really help that much.
He goes, it's like giving you Tylenol. Yeah. He's like, Tylenol is not going to fix your cold and flu. It's just going to alleviate some of the symptoms a little bit. So I was like, okay. So as an adult, I'm being told I have allergies, which I don't know how to recognize that.
You're like, and what do I do now?
He's like, you have allergies. I was like, I'm a grown-ass man. I don't have allergies.
Tell me I'm sick.
Yeah.
Before you tell me I have allergies. I literally
told him, I was like, but how do we know if it's not like throat cancer or something like that?
Yeah. You'd rather be told that it's like you're dying than have allergies.
We could start doing something about it.
Yeah. You can't do anything about allergies.
But then I took a handful of, not at once, but a handful of allergy medication. Didn't even touch me. So if it's allergies, wouldn't it?
Well, allergy medicine doesn't do anything to me either. I don't know. So
explain to me then, why do we have a thing as allergy medication? Is it a Ponzi scheme?
Well, probably.
So
maybe it helps some people, but to me, I've tried it before. It might help maybe like right before or like when it's like the tail end of it. But when it's like full throttle, the allergy season, everything, I'm like.
Because you're constantly exposed to it, right?
Yeah. And so it just never really helps me at all. So I just kind of stopped taking it and I just deal with it until, the symptoms get better. Sure. Like right now, I still have a little bit of a runny nose, but it's not as bad as it was a week ago. Mm. And that's interesting because when you got your little allergy diagnosis.
I don't have allergies. The guy's a quack.
Is the same day we all came down with that. And it was the day that it was really sunny and windy, I think. And so everything was like blowing and blooming all at once. And like Jack has never had allergies. He's been having like a stuffy nose too. And you can tell that it's not really like a cold because when they wake up, they get like stuffy noses and then they're fine during the day. And then when they go to bed, they have stuffy noses. So it's like, you can tell that it's like something else. It's allergies.
Right.
But it's crazy that like everybody in our family all of a sudden.
No. Don't put me in the same boat because I was cleaning out a 80-year-old house.
It triggered something. Do you think now you'll just get allergies all the time?
I'm a grown-ass man. I don't get allergies, okay?
What should we call it?
I don't have allergies.
It was dust particles.
So I flew out to Palm Springs on a guy's trip for, 3 days or something like that?
It was like 4 days, actually.
Okay.
Because I counted. Because I was alone with the kids.
And it was... I thought, like you were the one who even said, is like, well, if you clear up when you get there, then that means it's allergies. And I didn't clear up until the last day. So
maybe because of the dust, it was like lingering longer for you.
Probably. I think it had to get out of my system.
Yeah, with like pollen stuff, if you're not around it, you kind of feel better.
Although Kyle has to vouch for me. Kyle, did you not see a man that completely turned his act around on the last time we were filming?
Yeah, for sure.
What did you tell the people?
Is this man you?
Yes. Tell the people the transformation that you saw.
Look, Alex never wears masks.
Yeah.
Okay, like one of the first days I worked with him, he's like, all right, we're going to paint this thing in my garage. I'll crack the garage a little bit for you since you don't have like a respirator or anything. Like 5 minutes into it, like the garage is just like filled with paint. Like, so I mean,
it's like foggy. You can't even see through it.
Yeah, but long story short, you've been doing pretty good. Wearing the respirator, like even cutting wood and stuff.
Okay, but it's been like one day.
Yeah, I'm a changed man.
We'll see. But I am proud of you. I think this is a long time coming. You should have been doing this years and years ago.
I was cutting on a miter saw outside as the wind is blowing. So you're like, I'm not going to be breathing this in. So I was wearing my respirator every time I cut a piece of wood. I was wearing my respirator every time I took a stud off the wall out. I was a square.
It takes buying an old house to finally make you change your ways, I guess.
I'm a completely changed man. I've been delivered. Speaking of protection like that.
Speaking of protection,
I was working with, I got a new battery for the ATV because my battery died on it. And it's dumb when you buy a battery for an ATV at like O'Reilly's or Shucks or whatever the place you go to automotive wise. Those like regular batteries are ready to go. Grab it off the shelf, plug it in, new battery. With the ATV ones, you have to like put it together yourself. Like you have to there's a container, fill the battery acid into the battery, plug it up, then charge it. So
why do you think that is?
I have no idea. Maybe it's this particular brand. I don't know. So here's what happened to me a couple of days ago. In fact, it's kind of cleared up already. Oh no, maybe a little.
Did you get battery acid?
I had battery acid jump up and on my top of my cheek, which is about an inch away from my eyelid, created a bump. I don't know if you see. There's a little
I can't really see.
Maybe I like cleaned it off, but it was I could feel it right there. But it was like a blister on top, like a pimple.
It's just like one
splash. Because you have to cut the thing open, and when I cut it, like some of the droplets came up.
And obviously, you weren't wearing eye protection.
Why am I going to wear eye protection?
Well, now maybe you'd think about it.
Yeah. I had another couple of close calls. I think I had I was using a nail and then the nail hit me right on my forehead. This is right after I got my LASIK done.
Oh my gosh.
So I keep having all these close calls.
I don't like hearing this. Could
you imagine battery acid in the eye? Oh, that eye is done.
Done, yeah.
I wouldn't have to wear an eye patch. I'd just be like,
I'd be kind of cute though if you wore an eye patch.
I would have to say.
You can have the kids craft it for you, so it'd be all sparkly and cute.
Yeah.
It'd be cute.
Yeah,
One-eyed Alex. One-eyed Alex.
Call you. I'd have to talk about people and be like, talk to my good eye or look at my good eye.
Look at my good eye.
I have to say the good eye.
The good eye. Maybe you could get a glass eye.
That one scared me a little bit because I was because it burned. When it got on my cheek, it burned, and I was like, ooh.
Did you immediately wipe it?
There was nothing to wipe because you wipe it, it's just going to spread to another part.
So battery acid
is nuts, man. I had a cut right here on my hand, and apparently there's a little bit of battery acid on the floor because that's when it spilled a little bit. And I grabbed something today, and it stung so freaking bad. Battery acid is no joke.
Oh,
they should really put a warning label on those things.
They should really warn us not to mess with it.
Who would have thought you shouldn't mess around with battery acid?
Who would have thought? Well, now you know.
Yeah.
Next time, wear the gloves, wear the eye protection,
wear
the respirator.
Do the Breaking Bad suit.
Seriously, if you're going to mess with that stuff. I don't like hearing about these close calls. It makes me nervous.
I think I'm on a new path of making sure, because I've had postnasal drip since I was 14, but I've only been working building stuff for the last 7-8 years.
Right.
And my doctor says that the reason I have postnasal drip is probably because you're always exposed to irritants and
so basically allergies. Well, you've been having allergies
because I don't have allergies. This is a man cold. This is a man cold that's lasted all this time. No, but she's saying
7 years of man cold.
She's I could send you to an ENT and then get to the bottom of it. But it really is, unless you change your entire environment where you don't cut another piece of wood, you're always going to have this postnasal drip. So I'm going to try to be better and wear a respirator. I'm not wearing glasses though. I'm not.
You got to wear them sometimes.
I will wear them sometimes.
Hey, thanks for watching our Next Door Neighbors podcast.
And be sure to capture the full episode anywhere podcasts are streamed and including our YouTube channel, Next Door Neighbors.